My name is Happy Gilmore. I haven't swung a club in years.
You know what you gotta do.
Grip it and rip it.
Or... Oh, now that is some Happy Gilmore.
Everyone is talking about the comeback kid, Happy Gilmore.
Happening.
Yeah, baby.
Happy Gilmore 2, only on Netflix July 25th. Rated PG-13, may be inappropriate for children under 13.
After Zoomies at the dog park, it's time for Drive Up at Target. In goes a big bag of kibble and one squeaky chicken toy for the good boy. Drive Up that's ready when you are, only in the Target app. Just tap Target.
The McDonald's Snack Wrap is back. You brought it back. Ranch Snack Wrap. Spicy Snack Wrap. You broke the internet for a snack. Snack Wrap is back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Sports are all about teamwork, and so is insurance. Whether you need an in-person or digital assist, State Farm is there to help you choose the right coverage for your home, car, and more. Get a game plan that helps fit your life and talk to State Farm today. State Farm with the assist. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability and eligibility vary by state.
Hey everybody, please enjoy this sample of our latest monthly mailbag from over at the Patreon. We got a bunch of questions about Matthew Schaefer, and I thought it would be fun to put them out as a sampler for everybody here on the main feed and for our Uncle Tier subscribers over at the Patreon as well. If you enjoy what you hear, please get over to the Patreon, patreon.com/Islanders Anxiety, sign up for the Country Club tier, and then you can hear all of our mailbag episodes from the past and going forward, plus all the other bonus stuff. Patreon.com/Islanders Anxiety. Thanks and enjoy. Hello. It's the monthly mailbag exclusively for Country Club tier subscribers at the Islanders Anxiety Patreon page. Thank you so much for your support and for your dough and for your great questions. And Mike, it is July. It is as hot as the devil's asshole outside, but the people want to talk about the Islanders, as do we. And I'm excited to dive into these questions. We finally got the Matthew Schaefer questions I was expecting last time. They just took a month to show up, but we got a whole bunch to start out with. So you ready to tackle these questions and kind of put a little spotlight on the Islanders' newest superstar?
Yeah, I am. It's been a funny journey so far with Schaefer, even though he hasn't played a game, because of how things originally started out when they won obviously going from not having any expectations at all, drafting first overall, and then winning the lottery, only knowing about one guy and really wanting that one guy, and then learning more about the other guy, and then he's like, it becomes like a matter of fact that they were gonna pick him, and the more and more like he ticked every box of imaginable, so it wasn't even like you weren't even talking about him from an Islanders perspective. It was more people talking about him from like an actual human being perspective, which is nice. But like it kind of, and I don't mean this to sound curt or anything, but like it kind of took away from thinking about the impact of Matthew Schaefer on the New York Islanders hockey club, like the team when he's actually got skates on and playing for the Islanders. So I honestly I've given it very little thought. It's almost as if he's like mostly like an ambassador and like this like goodwill ambassador than anything else so far. And I can't wait to watch him play. So yeah, it'll be fun to talk about him a little bit here.
Yeah, he's been treated a little differently than most Islanders, draft picks. One particular number one draft pick that we all I think remember fairly well, but like it seems like there's been less, oh man, we got to get him off of that team. Or like, oh, this is going to be great. It's just like, yeah, he's going to be a really good player for them. Like that's
they're giving him the respect of, hey, we'll start talking about getting him off that team next year, next summer.
Exactly. Yeah. Fair enough. Thanks, guys. Give us a year to enjoy this guy, I guess. But he's got his entire career ahead of him, and we have a few questions here to start off with. Kind of thinking about that and where he's going to fit in this season. And we start with Brian, who asks, respecting that none of us really know anything about player development, what is your preference for the handling of Matthew Schaefer? lock in now to the NCAA, guaranteeing that he'll get some really strong development work this year. Maybe roll the dice on the 9-game NHL trial, with the risk being that if he can handle it, he has to go. If he can't handle it, he has to go back to Erie, where the development might not be as strong with lower competition. There's a lot of options here. This has sort of been a topic du jour for the last couple of days or so. Some people, I think, are really galaxy braining this whole thing. As Brian says, we have no idea how this works. We don't really know what the team is thinking, but like, do you have a preference? Like, if somebody went to you and said, "Hey, Mike, what would you rather do with Schaefer?" Do you have an idea of like what you would rather see them do?
Yeah, I mean, selfishly, I want to see him play, right? Like,
Yeah,
I think that's pretty simple. Like, if whether or not 6 years from now I'd say, "Wow, that was a terrible decision," or the right decision. Because I do think like going back to junior doesn't really help him. So it would be the college route, or staying with the big club. And as much as it could help him to play another year of hockey, because he played so little last year, it sounds like that's not too much of a concern for really anyone. He sounds like he's hell bent on making the team as well. And yeah, I mean, I hope he makes the team, and that would be my preference. But I would totally listen to anyone who would say, I don't know if there is a wrong answer right now. Like, we'll find out what the wrong answer is maybe later in life, but like right now, I don't think there's really a wrong answer from anyone who says like this would be better for him or this would be better. Well, nobody knows. And but selfishly, as an Islander fan who wants to watch this guy play, I would love to see him play game 1 in October.
So as would I. And to me, and again, once for the third time, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Neither of us do really. I feel like this is his job to lose. Like, I can't imagine the Islanders are like thinking anything other than, well, when we break camp, this guy's going to be on the team. Like, I think it would have to take a monumental fall of some sort to make him not be on the team when the season starts. Like, I think that's just the way it is. And it's not even just that. I mean, first of all, if you look on the left side of their defense, there's a hole, and he plays that side. So, I mean, it'll just end up being there, but like it's a consideration. I know might not make people comfortable, but like clearly they're pinning their sort of PR push on this guy as well. I mean, he got off the plane from the draft and he was on Good Morning America. Like, when was the last time the Islanders did that with somebody? They got him mic'd up for the friggin' prospect game. Like, he's already out and about and doing videos and stuff. So I think, not just from an on-ice perspective, but from an off-ice perspective, I think they have big plans for this guy. Now, that being said, I don't know where this NCAA thing came from. And people can correct me if I'm wrong. Please let me know. I'm not one of the prospect perverts, but I don't ever remember a guy being drafted first overall out of junior and then deciding, I'm going to go to college now and going to play at, Michigan State or whatever it is. Like, I've never heard of that before. Has that ever happened before? Like, why would he do that? I don't understand where this is coming from. Like,
it's like this new thing now with like, with the NIL and stuff, and
I guess,
and how, because I think Owen Power did it, but I don't think he went from junior, like Canadian junior, to NCAA, because I think that's a new rule. Is like you can sign, NCAA teams can sign players who played in the CHL. So I think that's what it is, and I but I'm with you. Like, it's not an admission of defeat for him to go play another year of development in junior or the NCAA. But at the same time, it would be disappointing from a fan's perspective, because as you said, like it's going to be a big push behind him. Training camp is going to be a lot of fun. Everyone's going to have their eyes on him, and his personality is one that I don't want. I don't want his personality to be on Bemidji State or something like that. I want his personality to be with the New York Islanders next year, right? Like, it'd be more enjoyable to hear from him as an Islander. So, I don't know. I'm with you though. I like, it's getting to be like the state tax thing now too. Yeah. I'm just like, I've heard enough about this NCAA stuff, and Gavin McKenna's going to Penn State. Like, this is so huge for like Gavin McKenna. There's nothing romantic about like bribing a kid from Medicine Hat to come play hockey at Penn State, right? Like, there's nothing romantic about it,
Right.
And everyone's like, "Oh, this is so great for college hockey." Maybe it is, but I don't think that there's a lot of people out there outside of Penn State fans generally who are going to be like,
Right.
"Oh, I got to tune in to watch Gavin McKenna play college hockey," because they don't know who the hell Gavin McKenna is.
Right. Yeah. And he does this, and all of a sudden everybody's a huge Penn State fan.
Right.
Everybody's got their Joe Paterno, sweater vest on and like, walking around, screaming about the Nittany Lions because this kid is going there. I don't buy this for a second. And I don't know if I mentioned this on here before, but Arthur Staple, just before the draft, I guess it was on that Morning Cup of Hockey with Johnny Lazarus, a guy, and then the other guy. And the other two guys, it was right after the draft because they had already drafted Schaefer. It was right before free agency, I think. And like, they talked for about 20 minutes, the two of them, about the idea of him going to the NCAA. And Art just sort of sat there like a very nice guy that he is. And I'm just thinking to myself, why are these two guys talking about this? Like, where did this come from? It was very confusing. I didn't understand why it was happening.
Because they both played college hocky and they don't really know much about the Islanders enough to have a guest on for like 20 minutes, which is,
I guess,
you just they need air to fill. Everyone does.
Yeah.
That's why these like when, not to bring this up again, but it just reminds me a little bit in a weird way of when Anthony Duclair posted that Instagram and it was in the middle of the summer. And we had to have 3 days of people like going on podcasts and writing think pieces about it because, well, that's what you have to do when your job is to talk about hockey or podcast about hockey, or you do it as a hobby for most people. And they think, oh, I got to weigh in on this. Everyone is clamoring to hear what me, Colby Cohen thinks about Matthew Schaefer's career. Like everyone is just, chomping at the bit. That's how everyone thinks about it. So and the opposite is true, but
yeah, I guess that's true. But as Brian, this is a great question. I'm glad you asked this, and it was a perfect way to start us off. I think he's definitely going to get the chance to, every chance in the world to play. He's definitely going to get that 9 games. If he's like completely underwater, I could see him going back to Erie. I think it's fine. Don't forget, he only played 17 games last year. So like, I don't think going back to Erie for a full season really would be the worst thing for him. I mean, if he's head and shoulders above them, well, okay, then he should play that way. The other thing too is I wouldn't count out, don't forget about the World Junior Championship, which I guess he would still be eligible for. So, Team Canada is going to want him on that too. So
we'll have those conversations haven't been around the Islanders in quite some time. So it'll be nice to have them back again. Basically Barzell and Beauvillier, I guess, were the last two.
Basically. Oh, well, Duck Hole, I think also, but he didn't make it.
Yeah,
so
he didn't make it.
so that was a very short conversation. Yes. But yeah, so there are a lot of considerations, but ultimately I think we're both in agreement that this is his job to lose. I mean, unless he, shows up at camp like 30 pounds overweight, and, from eating too many bacon, egg, and cheese bagels, then, that would be a problem. But barring that, I think we'll see him on the ice for the opening game of the season. And this schedule comes out today, the day you're listening to this. So we'll know what day that is probably by the time you hear this. But thank you, Brian, for the perfect start-off question for us. Now, there's a lot of important decisions the Islanders need to make in regards to Matthew Schaefer. But Nick, our good friend, takes us right to the most important one. And that is, which uncle should have Schaefer stay with him when he makes the team either this year or next? Do you go with Pelech for the Erie connection? Does he live with Bo Horvat and learn about getting sued by your neighbors? Maybe Paul Mary to get used to the LIE? Maybe Casey Cizikas, it's like a team uncle. Or do we go with a shadow team member like Matt Martin, Johnny Boychuk, or Dennis Seidenberg? Mike T chimes in and says it's highly likely that Seidenberg, who, by the way, is a great guy, gets tasked with that. There's obviously no shortage of options here as well. Do you have a preference for where he lives?
First of all, I think this is like a great contest. Maybe we can build a contest around it where we just like, assign, we'll randomize the, 40 potential candidates, and whoever the randomizer spits out I'll send them an Islander prize or something. So I'll keep that at the back of my mind. It's something that it's been one of my favorite conversations to have around since they've drafted Schaefer. Not, hey, where does he fit? Do you think he's going to run the first power play? Like, what's going on? It's which uncle do you think he lives with? And I think the guy would have been Brock Nelson had he not been traded. Because I think let's go through the candidates, right? Anders Lee is the captain. I think that's a little, you don't I don't think you want to. It's not like nepotism, but I feel like it's a little bit of a. We'll leave the captain alone. He's got to be your captain. He can't be your captain and your landlord.
Right.
Especially that kind of captain, right? It's a little different with like someone who's like a Doug Wade or whatever.
Yeah.
Casey Cizikas is living such like a suburban Garnet City life. Like he's, I see him. He's at the beach. He's, I feel like Casey is too busy with his own family to have to worry about it. Whereas guys who aren't as, I guess, active in the community can spare some more time for their new teenage adopted son. And of course, like you'd like them to have kids so he can get to play I'm babysitting for the ex whoever he lives with. So I think Palmieri might be the one that I land on if it's a current player. But I do think that it's more likely that if he does stay with someone, it would be and let's also not forget that Lee is, I think it's unlikely that he gets traded, but like him and Pajot are on, they're on their 1-year deals, or last year of their deal. So, but I do think like Martin to me maybe is probably not the right time because it's his first year. Which leaves us.
He's also got 2 brand new kids too.
Right.
Very
twins.
Yes.
So like Seidenberg sticks out. Maybe the Baileys. I could see Josh Bailey being.
I thought of that too.
Roped in.
Yeah.
So if I was handicapping it, I would make Seidenberg, Palmieri, and Bailey the kind of co-favorites in like a three horse race. But I'd love to hear your answer and then others' answers because I think it's a fascinating question and could be the most important question before the season starts.
That's right. Well, I mean, you gravitated towards the same guy I was, which is Dennis Seidenberg. And a lot of that is due to the classic MSG video of the very young Matt Barzell living with the Seidenbergs in their basement, playing video games with his kids. Those kids are probably like in college by now. I don't even know how old they are. And it was very cool. And Barzell seemed to have a lot of fun with it. I can see Schaefer being the exact same mold. The kids loving him because he's kind of an outgoing dude. So that was the first thought I had. Boychuk is almost leaning towards like management at this point. So I feel it's same with Martin, like you just said. Like I feel like they're kind of a little too close to management. Maybe not the best for that, although I'm sure they would step up at the plate. Martin, forget, because again, way too many little kids running around. Palmieri never really occurred to me because I don't know if he's really, not to say that he's not like part of the team or anything. He obviously is. He just signed on for 2 more years, but like he doesn't really strike me as the same kind of part of the uncle's group. I mean, he is, but like I don't know. We don't see him as much on like the Instagrams and stuff like that. Like playing with the kids and things like that. So I'm not sure where he fits into this. I wouldn't have him too high on the list. The Pellick thing, though, is really interesting because not only did they play at Erie, but they've apparently trained together as well, Adam Pellick and Matthew Schaefer. So I think Pellick is actually kind of a sneaky dark horse in this, but at the same time, I don't know what his kid situation is like. Didn't they just get married like maybe a year or 2 ago?
Yeah, they got
Adam
married.
Pellick and his wife?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
There's that picture because there's that picture of all of them, outside the church. And he's interesting.
So I think I would go Seidenberg, Pellick, 1, 2 in that order, and then Bailey I think is a great pick actually. To jump in
because I think he's like he wants to be on the shot. Josh Bailey is made for the shadow team, right? He doesn't. I don't think he wants to be involved day to day anymore. He's very content living a retired rich dude life on Long Island, but he loves the Islanders still and loves like being around it. So, and he loves the guys. So, and obviously you can't rope in Clutterbuck because of the media thing. So that's
right.
And then, and you know what? Like, and then you got like the Russian mafia are gonna have to, someone's gonna have to bill it Maxim Shabanov too, maybe.
I was gonna say, they got their own guy. To take
they got
so
everyone's gonna be busy. It's
right.
But yeah, so I think we whittled it down to a good short list here. You know what? One other dark horse, we didn't bring him up at all because I still think of him as like an 18 or 19-year-old kid. Is Barzell. Like I could see Matt Barzell thinking it's the coolest thing to have this guy live with him.
Maybe it's his turn. Yeah, it's possible. Sure. Yeah, That's definitely possible. I could maybe see that. But again, he's living like the bachelor lifestyle. Like, I don't think he
Yeah,
wants
but
his kid
yeah,
crashing his
he's
style.
getting close to 30 now.
Yeah.
Which is scary, but like he might be, and the two of them both have great hair.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah,
like,
no, it makes perfect sense. I mean, it would be like his little brother, although he's like quite
Yeah.
a bit taller than Marcel is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see that too. I wouldn't discount Lee either, but I think you're right. Lee does so much already.
Yeah,
The
he's
problem is with this roster is they don't have like that old guy. Like the Waite Tavares connection made perfect sense, right? Like,
Right.
Doug Waite was like 40 years old at the time,
Right.
and like Tavares is coming in. We all kind of figured he would be a captain at some point, so it was perfect. They live in Doug Waite's pool house. Like that made a ton of sense. But they don't have like a Doug Waite
Right.
type, on the roster right now.
Right. The oldest guy is Varlamov, and
Yeah, right, yeah.
and he's got a million kids and spends a lot of
Yeah.
time on his Texas
I
ranch.
was
He's a
gonna
goalie,
say-
and he's a goalie. So like he's
yeah, exactly.
and Lee is the old, like if Anders Lee was
Right.
for some reason, let's say his contract ended last year and they didn't re-sign him and he signed with, I don't know, Vancouver or something, he would be the old guy that we signed, that's chasing a ring like Waite was, or doing whatever the last phase of his career, and you can trust him with a Matt Schaefer type. But yeah, in this situation, maybe he surprises us. But I almost am rooting against it. I want Anders to have a little bit less responsibility. I feel like he's saving the world. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need this too.
Yeah, that's also true. I would think maybe Scott Mayfield may also kind of sneak in there, but again, like Pellick, I think he's got like the sort of newlywed thing going on. So I don't know, but Nick, this is definitely the most pertinent question we've gotten in this entire batch. So I'm glad you asked this, because this is important, and this is a very Islanders consideration, but it is very important nonetheless. So we'll see who's right. So far, we're handicapping Dennis Seidenberg as number one. Palmieri, Pellick, Bailey, somewhere in below them, but we'll see how it shakes out. So we'll see. Maybe somebody comes out of nowhere. But thank you very much for the question. Okay. Oh, by the way, I was just thinking too, when you brought up the Russian guys, I think we also need, somehow there needs to be a video of like the Russians all sort of carpooling to a game or practice together, all in like one car. So
Yes.
like,
we just need.
Yeah.
I just want to know what they're up to. I want to know what they're up to all the time. Like I sort of have an idea of what Romanov and Sorokin are up to.
Yeah.
But like, I know what they're up to, and not enough. Like I want to know what they're up to when, right now and stuff. Like what does a Russian millionaire do on Long Island? Like when they have to be on like their best behavior because they have to be training and in shape and all that. Like what, and they're living on Long Island. Like they could walk down 7th Avenue or up in Manhasset or whatever, and 7th Street in Garden City. Like, what do they think of that? Or are they just going to Brighton Beach all the time and just being really Russian? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. My guess is they're just playing Call of Duty. Like that's, I'm going to assume they're all just playing Call of Duty on whatever their console of choice is. So,
and I like to think that Max Siplikov lived the entire year at the Marriott across from the Coliseum.
And just commuted to Magnitogorsk or wherever it was, or Tractor, wherever he was playing.
Yes.
It's possible. Get used to the Marriott there, Max. We'll see. But thanks, Nick. That was a great question. Okay. David asks us maybe the most sneakily cruel question of the pack. So pay attention here. He says, according to the stand-up philosophers at The Athletic, great Mel Brooks reference right there, the Islanders have 5 players among the top 34 prospects. Of those 5, Schaefer, Victor Eklund, Cal Ritchie, Cole Eiserman, Kashan Aitchison, pick which one will star, which one will flop, and which one will do us dirty. I like how 2 of these options are bad, right?
Yeah,
like,
me too.
It's not like one guy's a star, one guy's
you know
sort of
what,
okay, right? Yeah.
We do complain about how every draft, even if you get to pick 111, it's this guy is, he's so good in the corners, he doesn't do a thing wrong, and he's gonna make you look, he's gonna be just like Danny Briere out there, which is why the Flyers picked him. Like, so I do think it's a fair question to ask, to be like, all right, we complain about how this is a crapshoot, so put your money where your mouth is.
Well, let's just get right into it. So of these guys, which one is going to be the star, which is going to flop, and which is going to just do us dirty, and I guess, I don't know, leave it as a free agent or something?
Yeah, I think, and I'm going to add one other category, which is like who would be like just like a normal, let's say like an Anthony Beauvillier Islanders existence. because I think we can do that. I think that the one that will star is pretty easy. It's Schaefer.
Right.
I think that Victor Eklund, is it Victor Eklund, right? Not William Eklund. Victor Eklund.
William is the guy for
Yeah, Williams with the Sharks. Victor, Highlander, just signed. Feels like a pretty safe bet to have a pretty Beauvillier life, experience. I'll say the one that will flop will be Richie, just because I don't really know much still about him, and he wasn't an Islander pick, so we'll say him. And do us dirty. That leaves me Yzerman and Aitchison. I'll just say Yzerman because I could see him having a great start to his career. He's a very confident individual, it seems like, and one that maybe when push comes to shove in like a negotiation, Darren Ferris likes to walk his clients to free agency type kind of situation.
Right.
So I'll go that way.
It is possible. It is possible. I need to look up where these guys are all from to see where this is going.
You don't want to know where Schaefer's from.
I already know, unfortunately, but I am going to pick him as the star because I feel like he's the guy who really, has it all over him. Although I will say that, and all these guys are getting talked about to the point where like you're kind of buying all of them. But I think Schaefer is the one. Having now heard from him and seen his personality, I think he's got star written all over him. The one that will flop, I'm going to actually go with Eklund on this one. And the only reason being that he's got the sort of kiss of death when it comes to Islanders draft picks, and that is that he is an NHL player's brother. And as we know, the Islanders have made it a habit of acquiring the brothers of various players, and some of them have worked out. Many of them have not. And so I could kind of see us, having a conversation 10 years from now, like, well, his brother was pretty good. And like, he had pretty good stats. I can kind of see that happening. And then, or I should say, I was going to say the other one that might flop, I'm thinking is Aitchison. And only because of these 5 guys, he's the only guy who, again, gets another dreaded kiss of death when it comes to prospects. And that is the knock on his skating. Well, his skating's not that good. Sometimes it doesn't mean anything. Like dudes have carved out 20-year careers by quote unquote not skating good. So I'm going to say that. So maybe he's the guy who, might flop because he quote unquote isn't as good a skater as these other guys. But of course, that changes over the course of a summer. Anders Lee wasn't a good skater until like 2 years ago. And then he had that, actually not even last year. And then he ended up having a resurgent year. So I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing ever, but he does have that right now. So he's got to overcome that. Which leaves the do-us dirties between Yzerman and Richie. You went Yzerman. I'll say Richie. Maybe I could see him kind of signing with something. Maybe he goes back to Colorado. Like, oh, these guys drafted me and I've made friends with them all. Lifelong friendships in that, 2 months that I was an Avalanche before they traded me here. So I could see that happen. But David, this is a diabolical question. And I both appreciate it and hate it at the same time. But, we'll see. I do find it funny that 2 of the 3 options are bad for the Islanders. Like that's very Islanders. One of these guys will be great. The other, 4 of these other guys, maybe not so much.